I hear people say all the time that Kansas is one of the best environments in all of college basketball. And to that I say, yeah, but you might be underselling it. Kansas, Allen Fieldhouse might be one of the best environments in all of sports, period. Like, BYU plays in a loud environment in Provo, and they were pretty rattled at the beginning of that game. A lot of guys hesitating, indecisive, playing a little bit of hot potato to start out that game. Like, that crowd sort of got in BYU's head to start out. They played a major influence in KU winning that game. And, Bill Self said something super interesting earlier about KU's basketball team. He said, quote, "We haven't seen this team's ceiling yet." I think he would be correct. Like, you look at where Kansas is in bracketology and the advanced metrics, 4 or 5 seed, 13, 16-ish ranked. They're only that low because Darren Peterson has been unhealthy all year. He's only played in 11 games. And in those 11 games, he has looked every bit of the hype and then some. But here's the scary part. I don't quite know if we've gotten 100% Darren Peterson this year. I think we've gotten him at 80% at points. He's been dealing with that sprained ankle and then cramps for a while. And that's a crazy thought because there hasn't been a second when that guy has been on the court that he hasn't looked like the best player in all of college basketball. And, this KU team is built kind of like, they kind of remind me of the 2001 Philadelphia 76ers, where Flory Badong is like Dikembe Mutombo. The whole defense is built around him. They have a bunch of gritty role players like those Sixers team had with Eric Snow, Aaron McKee, George Lynch, Tyrone Hill. Dudes that were really good at doing one thing. Kansas has got those gritty role players. Trey White, get that guy in the corner, he'll drain a three. Melvin Council, he can take some of the pressure off of Darren Peterson. Drive and kick. Bryson Tiller as well. Marco Jackson. Jamari McDowell. Jamari McDowell face guarded A.J. Debantza pretty much that whole time and made it really, really, really hard for him. But Darren Peterson's kind of like that Allen Iverson, where he is by far and away the main offensive option. And when he's not in the game, everything kind of implodes to where Kansas looks like a solid college basketball team who maybe could get to the Sweet 16 because they're good defensively. They have a bunch of gritty veterans. But a lot of those players, bear with me here, they're kind of like tree branches. Darren Peterson's the tree. But what's the point of a tree branch with no tree? It's just going to sit there. But a tree branch with a tree serves a very important purpose. Makes the tree look better. More leaves can grow on it. But Darren Peterson's the tree. So when Bill Self is saying, we haven't seen this team's full ceiling yet, that's what he means. And you can't watch this game of BYU and Kansas without not talking about this. Darren Peterson's one of the best talents I've ever seen play college basketball. Like, there are some guys who you can just watch in the gym, and it only takes seconds. Maybe it's the way they move, the way they shoot, and you're just like, yeah, that guy's got it. He's just playing a different game. Darren Peterson is exactly that way. He's got as pure of I can't talk. He's got as pure of a release as it gets. He's kind of built like Kawhi Leonard, kind of moves like Kawhi Leonard a little bit. He's got sort of that like dribble hezzy type movement. But he shoots the ball like Klay Thompson. And you know who he kind of reminds me of? Sort of some of Brandon Roy, pre-knee injuries Brandon Roy. Those of you, if you know, you know. Brandon Roy was as good as it gets before those knee injuries caught up to him. But probably more of a pure shooter. So he's got some Trey Johnson, but if you like pumped him up like times 5 and Trey Johnson's a really good player, really reminds me of a young Ray Allen. And a lot of you may know Ray Allen as a really pure knockdown catch and shoot guy. But Ray Allen was in the dunk contest. There was a time when Ray Allen was the focal point on offense on some dang good teams. But Darren Peterson might have even more of an ability to create than Ray Allen. And Ray Allen is a Naismith Basketball Hall of Famer through and through for a reason, let me tell you. So that's kind of who he reminds me of. But Kansas as a whole, when he plays, they're averaging 82 points per game. When he doesn't play, they're averaging 74 points per game. And that 82 point per game average would be higher because in a lot of these games that Darren Peterson has played, he's played very limited minutes. So when Peterson doesn't play, this turns into a really solid college basketball team. Like you saw it, what happened in the first compared to the second half. Like first half, Kansas outscores BYU 53-33. And then all of a sudden, Darren Peterson goes out for, I believe it was cramping. KU gets outscored 49-37. Tale of two halves. So Bill Self is absolutely right. We haven't seen this team's ceiling yet. And we saw just a glimpse of it in the first half. Like just barely a glimpse of it. And my goodness, did that team look absolutely scary. Because they've got some really gritty pieces around Darren Peterson to let Darren Peterson be Allen Iverson. Melvin Council can take some of the pressure off of you. Trey White, Bryson Tiller, those guys can drain corner threes. 5 for 8 from 3 in that game, those two combined. And the reason why they were 5 for 8 from 3 is because Darren Peterson commands so much defensive attention that those guys can get so unbelievably open from 3. Flory Badonga. That guy could be one of the best rim protectors in the whole sport. That defense revolves around him. Because you have a paint protector like that, Darren Peterson can go out, he can gamble, he can get some steals, he can get the team in transition. So Bill Self built a really good team around Darren Peterson. But Darren Peterson is the tree, and those guys are the tree branches. You need both to make a good tree, but you really need the tree. So I'll at least say this, man. The health of Darren Peterson is extremely important. It is quite possibly the biggest what if to follow in college basketball right now. And one of the biggest what ifs could go down in the last 25 years of college basketball. Because if Darren Peterson plays, that KU team is a national championship contender. And if Darren Peterson doesn't play, that's a 4 or 5 seed, round of 32, maybe Sweet 16. And you may say, Harris, how does one player, just one player like that, make that much of a difference? And I say, well, man, Darren Peterson's just that dang good.